and welcome to making games in Excel. It's just an idea I had. I gotta get it off my head. Let's see if we can make this work. Today's plan is TicTacToe. Is that how you spell it? Is that how you spell TicTacToe? Let me Google that. Maybe you'll learn something from Excel as well. First thing, we can adjust the height of our cells or the width of our cells. And you see the number here. The number says 9. Move it over. It says 9.4 or whatever, right? If you're making cells and you're trying to make them look correct, you don't want to use that first number. You want to use the pixel width because the first number doesn't line up on both of them. So if we go 20 on this side, if we go 21 on this side, and then we try to go 21 on this side, you see it's very much different. So, not a square. But if you try to make a square, it's easier to use pixels. So we'll go 100 pixels here, 100 pixels here. Ooh. Now we have a square. Easiest way to fix that, so because we're doing tic-tac-toe, if you highlight from the row side or the column side, if you just highlight the rows you want and you choose it that way, then all of them change, right? So now all three of these are 100. So let's take this, make this 100, and then we have our play area. Let's do some lines. Wait, that sounds weird. Let's make some lines. We could do simply just highlight all the squares you want. Come up here to your home, choose your borders, and you can do it that way. That works, and that's fine. Other options include taking all the borders off. Let's see. No border. All right. So you can actually just draw the border if you want to. You just take your line here. We can make it green if you wanted. Right? Oop, can barely see it. Then we want to make the line style very thick. Right? And you can do it that way. You can just draw whatever you want. You can highlight the lines. You can make all kinds of pictures. But we're not going to do that. Backspace all that. Instead, I'm just going to stick with solid borders, but I want to select my guys here. Line style, very thick. Line color, we'll do black. And we'll do... Oh, yeah, we can do that. We can hand draw. I don't want to hand draw. And we do all borders. Alright, now, I have my play area. I can type whatever I want in there. And everything's fine. For my title, let's go ahead and bring this title all the way over. We want to center it with the game here. A couple ways to do that is you can't really move this to make it as big because that messes that up. We're going to merge. We can merge all of them, unmerge them all, merge across, or merge in center. If you merge across, it does that. So now this is one cell. This is actually B1. And everything's on the left. We don't necessarily want that. So if you were to click that, you can click your alignment ideas right here. Or a quicker way to do it, I don't know why I clicked that so many times. Oops. An easier way to do it, let's see, is just click all, however many you want, just say merge and center. All good. Maybe you want to border around that too. Might as well, right? You want to make this bigger as well. What do you think? 50? Let's see, how big can we make our font? 20 looks good. So this centers left to right. This centers up and down. So we'll put that in the center there. That looks good. We're not trying to get into cosmetics right now, but we have that. If we were to type a letter in here, let's go X. And it's kind of boring. So we want to highlight all these and center everything. Now when I type in here, what do we get? Cool. Highlight them all again. Let's see. How big do we want our... Ooh, 72 looks good. We'll do 72. In your face. Tic-tac-toe. Move them right along. What are we, 7 minutes in? Ha! I'm already done. Now let's add some logic. So we want, basically, we're going to have X's and O's. That's what we're dealing with, right? We're going to have an X and an O. So if we had an X here, an X here, and an X there, we want to know that. And we want to build a formula to work off of that. But also make it so if we have some stuff we want to change later, save ourselves some time. I'm going to put this over here. The easiest way to make complicated formulas is to break that formula down into smaller parts. So one of the parts that we need to know is this is in this row, in this row of these three things, is this a winning way or not? Well, we don't know. We have to actually look at the letters. So one of the easier ways to look at the letters is to just put them all together next to each other and make it say XXX, XOX, whatever it is. One of the formulas we can use here is called concatenate. I don't know how to pronounce it. I call it concatenate. I think it's called concatenate. Concatenate. That's probably right. But basically all it does is it takes strings from cells and combines them together as one long string of letters and numbers, whatever it is. But it converts it to all letters. Concatenate. Concatenate. Now it's saying, what do we want to concatenate? Oh my gosh, I can't speak. What are we trying to merge together? Is this text in this cell, this text in this cell, and this text in this cell, and we hit enter. What do we get? 3 X's. Now, if I change this to anything, could be a letter C, could be a bunch of letters, could be anything. Could even be an O if we wanted to get crazy and do it in the correct cell. If we want to get crazy, we can make it an O. Now, we have that logic. But that's only for those 3 cells. Easiest way, when you have anything in a cell, you look at the bottom corner. You see how it has this little thick, you see you have this square in the bottom right corner. That square is important. See, my cursor is a very thick plus sign. We take that. If it looks like this with the arrows everywhere, all that means is I'm going to click and drag what's in this to somewhere else. That's not what I want here. What I want is to go over the square and it makes a different plus sign. It makes a really thin plus sign. Click, drag, and remove. Now what it did, if you look here, concatenate B, C, and D3 because that's the row I was in. But it copied down that cell and replaced the letters with the next number. So in this case, column B, row 4, 4, 4. So this one's 3, that's 4, and that's 5. Now, if we go type letters and all of these, it does the same thing. It's a shortcut. So now we have a working model of this. We're going to go ahead and put X's in this just for testing. The next thing we need to know is, because that's if this is a row, that's a row, that's a row. We need to know if these up and down ones are the same thing. So now, if you have, so let's put an O here. That's OXX, and that's XOX. And that's fine. So this, oops, these three are not winning, and these three are not winning. Next is your diagonals. If I put a 7 here, we have a 7 there, everything's good. And then we get 7x9, that's exactly what we have there. Now we have nothing. So that's the first step to our logic. These are going to be in my way. These are, you can hide these cells, no issue. Nobody sees them, no problem. We could do hidden cells. We probably will. Yeah, make it bold so everybody sees it. What's up, Moose? Hey, trying something different today. Making tic-tac-toe in Excel. It's going to be as boring as it sounds, or as awesome as it sounds. I guess it depends on how much you know about Excel. So we have our logic for if these are if we have our logic of what is in the cell. Now we need to know, is that a winning row, column, or diagonal? So the easiest way to figure out is equals if. That's how we start all of our logic statements. Most of our logic statements is with an if. So we can true, false, Boolean answer, right? If this right here equals, and then anytime you're talking about letters and not numbers in Excel, we want to put it in quotation marks. It's called a string. Now, it's not really case sensitive in the formula, so it doesn't matter. But if it equals XXX, then we can make it say X is, whoops, X is the winner. And then, for false, we have to have a false statement, right? Because if we don't, and we hit OK, X is the winner. Now, if this is an O, it doesn't know what to do. So it gives a 0 because it's false. So we put a false statement in here of if. So we can go ahead and start another if statement. I think you can nest up to 15, but for now we're just going to nest the 2. If this cell right here equals O, not 0, because we're using O's, then what do we want it to say? O is the winner. O is the winner. Let's put an exclamation point on that just because I like being the letter O. And then that's fine. that is a complete statement. Now, there's a problem with that, and I'll show you. It didn't like the fact that I only have one parenthesis on the back, even though there's two statements here. I have an open bracket here, or open parenthesis there, and an open parenthesis there. So you need to have two closed parentheses. What it's telling you here is we're pretty sure that you meant to put a second parenthesis. Is that what you want to do? That's what it's asking me. In this case, I'll put yes. Now, if we have an X here, X is the winner. And if we have O, O'Reilly, O is the winner. Moving right along. Now, let's say the game's not over yet. It's going to sit there and say false the whole time? That looks silly. Well, one of the easiest things to do is it's asking what is the false part of this first logical statement here. Because you have to give logical test and then what to do if it's true and what to do if it's false. Our logical test is if F3 is XXX. If it says XXX, then we want to show this. But if not, what do you want to do? Well, then you say, look at it again and see, does it say triple O's? And if it does, then O's the winner. But what if it doesn't do that? Now what? Okay, then we could just comma. And if neither of those are true, we're just going to leave it blank. We'd say blank by putting two quotation marks next to each other with nothing in between and hit enter. And it's blank. Now, if I put an X here, we have an X there and nothing there. But if I say X, X, and X, X is the winner. Simple. Now, I'm just going to copy this baby down here. And let's see. O. O is the winner. And then X, 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 X is the winner. Now, I'm going to change this. X, X, X is also the winner. It just makes it easier for testing. Now, we don't know. We should have, when up vertically. So we'll write our formula again. Or we can copy it over if you want to. But we'll just write it again because I want to. If this cell right here equals XXX, then X is the winner. All caps. Exclamation point. And there we go. And you want to make sure you close your quotes. If you don't, Excel flips out and won't let you do it. Now, I'm going to say if tab B7 equals O, then open quotes, O is the winner. Exclamation. Close quotes. Comma. And if that is false, then just don't show anything. Close that statement and then close the next statement, hit enter. X is the winner. Good job, X. Now, we can pull this over here and X is the winner. And when we click on this, you'll see C7. That is correct because that's that cell, C7. And then this one is D and D. So this is a good way, this is good practice on how to get formulas to point to different cells, to do anything. I mean, this could be helpful at work if you wanted to, or not. If you just want to make a game, this is how you do it. If this was data in here, this is how you would concatenate it. This is how you set up a logical function to see if, to verify what data is there, and then what to display if it doesn't, if it is there, and then if it doesn't meet that criteria, you show it as a blank. A lot of stuff going on here. We merged our title, and everything's good. Now,